Walk into a modern supermarket. What do you see? You see abundance, thousands of products, piles of fruit in winter, endless shelves of grain. It looks like a miracle. But the smart money knows this is a mirage. This abundance is not natural. It is an industrial magic trick fueled by three things: cheap energy, stable weather, and global trade. All three of those pillars are cracking at the same time. And while you are distracted by AI stocks and interest rates, the richest people on the planet are quietly moving their money into the one asset class you cannot print, you cannot download, and you cannot live without: farmland. Bill Gates is now the largest private farmland owner in America. Jeff Bezos is buying land. The Chinese government is buying land in North Dakota. Why? Do they just love tractors? No. They know that the era of cheap food is ending, and the era of food control has begun. Let's investigate the land grab. For most of history, farmland was owned by farmers. It was a fragmented family business. But in the last decade, it has become a financial asset class. Pension funds, endowments, and family offices are sweeping up millions of acres. They call it gold with a coupon. It appreciates in value like gold, but it pays you rent like a bond. But there is a darker motivation. They understand supply and demand. The supply of arable land is shrinking due to urbanization and soil degradation. The demand for calories is rising due to population growth. When you own a shrinking asset that everyone needs to survive, you have ultimate pricing power. This is the return of feudalism. We are moving toward a world where a handful of mega landlords own the soil, and the farmers are just tenant serfs working the land for a corporate paycheck. If you control the land, you set the price of the harvest. But land is useless without the magic powder that makes it grow: fertilizer. Here is a forensic fact that will keep you up at night. Half of the protein in your body right now exists because of the Haber-Bosch process. This is the chemical process that turns natural gas into nitrogen fertilizer. Without synthetic fertilizer, the Earth can only support about 4 billion people. We have 8 billion. That means 4 billion people are alive today, solely because we figured out how to turn natural gas into food. Modern agriculture is just a way of eating fossil fuels. But here is the cliff. Nitrogen fertilizer depends on cheap natural gas. Potash and phosphate, the other key nutrients, are mined. Where are they mined? Russia, Belarus, China, Morocco. We have built a global food system that relies on a supply chain controlled by our geopolitical rivals. When Russia invaded Ukraine, fertilizer prices tripled. The smart money is betting that food nationalism is next. Countries will stop exporting fertilizer to keep it for themselves, and when the fertilizer stops flowing, the famine begins. Even if we have the gas, we might not have the dirt. This is the soil crisis. Industrial agriculture creates cheap food today by destroying the capital of tomorrow. We strip mine the soil. We kill the microbiome with pesticides. We erode the topsoil 100 times faster than nature can rebuild it. The UN has warned that, at current rates of degradation, we may only have 60 harvests left. That is 60 years. That is within the lifetime of your children. When the topsoil is gone, the land turns to dust. We saw this in the 1930s Dust Bowl. The smart money is looking for land that has soil health. They are buying land in places with deep aquifers and resilient soil profiles. They are essentially shorting the degradation of the planet. If land is the body, water is the blood, and the blood is drying up. Look at the Colorado River Basin. It supplies water to 40 million people and 5 million acres of farmland. It is running empty. Wall Street has noticed. Hedge funds are quietly buying up water rights in the American West. In many states, water is a property right separate from the land. You can buy the water and sell it to the highest bidder. Who is the highest bidder? It isn't the farmer growing lettuce. It is the data center cooling its servers. It is the semiconductor factory. It is the wealthy suburb. We are heading for a water war where agriculture has to compete with industry for every drop. Agriculture uses 80% of the water but produces 2% of the GDP. The smart money knows how that math ends. The water will flow to the money, and the farms will dry up. Control the land, control the water. But what about the seed itself? This is the intellectual property layer of the food system. 4 companies, Bayer, Monsanto, Corteva, ChemChina, and Limagrain, control more than 60% of the world's proprietary seed market. Farmers don't own their seeds anymore. They license them. It is software. You pay an annual subscription to plant your crop. These seeds are genetically engineered to resist specific pesticides, which the same companies sell. It is a closed ecosystem. If you try to save seeds from year to year, the way farmers did for 10,000 years, you get sued for patent infringement. The smart money loves this business model. It is SaaS, software as a service applied to biology. It turns the act of creation into a recurring revenue stream with high barriers to entry. They have patented the source code of the food supply. So, is it all doom and gloom, or is there a way out? The smart money is hedging their bets by investing in the technology that bypasses the soil entirely. Controlled environment agriculture, CEA. Vertical farming, growing food indoors in warehouses using LEDs and hydroponics. This solves the water problem, uses 95% less water. It solves the fertilizer problem, closed loop. It solves the soil problem, no soil needed. But it has an energy problem. It requires massive amounts of electricity. However, as we discussed in episode 001, if we solve the energy crisis with nuclear SMRs, vertical farming becomes viable. We are seeing a pivot. The smart money is investing in precision agriculture, AI tractors that spray weeds with lasers instead of chemicals. They are betting that technology can squeeze one last efficiency revolution out of the system before the biology collapses. Let's summarize the investigation. The era of cheap, abundant food is a historical anomaly, and it is ending. The smart money playbook is about securing the inputs. 1. Invest in agricultural commodities, ETNs that track the price of wheat, corn, and soy. When inflation hits, these are the hedge. 2. Look at the input supplier, companies that mine the potash, Nutrient Mosaic, and the companies that own the seeds, Corteva. They have pricing power. 3. If you have the capital, buy land. It doesn't have to be 1,000 acres. Even a small plot with water rights is a survival asset. 4. Support the local loop. The only way to break the monopoly is to buy directly from local farmers who own their land and save their seeds. It is the only supply chain that won't break in a crisis. The supermarket shelves might look full today, but the smart money is preparing for the day they are empty. This is the smart money wisdoms. The future belongs to the owners.